So Dermot, welcome to the RealTrending podcast. We're here at the Gathering in the Final Offer studio. It's good to have you here.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
It's always fun to do podcasts in person.
Yes, absolutely. Nothing better.
So yeah, and thanks for presenting today. I guess let's start with that a little bit. You talked about kind of being below the line and how to get above the line. Just give me your kind of elevator pitch for that for leaders. Where they really want to get to.
Yeah. Well, like any leader or any business owner, you start a business with a lot of optimism, like a lot of excitement. You see the possibilities, and then you start the business, and the reality hits. I say to people like, making kids is fun, raising children is hard, and starting a business is easy, but making a business work is difficult. And the better you do, the bigger you become, the more people you have, the more problems there are. And people who are, good entrepreneurs, they're generally good problem solvers. But it's really about, when I talk with CEOs or I talk with companies, like, what problem do you want to solve? What problems are most important? And if you become known, or if you even communicate that you're a great problem solver, guess what people give you? They give you problems. So I think it was, we're working with brokers, and we're working with leaders, and we're working with agents. And in my mind, everybody's a leader. It's like, what are you about and what do you want to achieve? And that's what above the line is. And above the line is, what are you gifted at? What are you good at? What are you excited about? And what does optimal look like in your business and your life? So work with a broker, it's like, okay, great. What is this about? You want to create a great environment for agents to succeed. There's so many things you have to do. You got to recruit, you got to retain, you've got to have training, you have to have community, you have to articulate your brand. But at the center of it is, your purpose is to help people sell homes. And so we try and keep it that simple. So the above the line is the outcomes you want to achieve. Below the line is all the things you want to avoid. That's where the drama is. It's where the toxicity is. It's where the noise is. It's where the challenges are. And what I talked about yesterday was to get, if you're below the line, a lot of people are, because the business has been tough the last couple of years.
Yes.
If you can't just go from a below the line to, I'm going to have all my goals and dreams achieved. You've got to draw the line, and that the line has to be your process. You have to process for recruiting, to retain, to provide value, to train. And that's where basically what we help people do is build those building blocks to say, just stay right here, fulfill on these principles, and you're going to have a great business.
So let's start with brokers, but I do want to get into some agent issues as well. So when a broker comes to you and they, my margins are down, like business is horrible, my agents are leaving, where do you start with them? And where are you seeing their biggest challenges?
Well, momentum. Well, first of all, brokers right now, when we talk to, we've trained and certified 7,500 brokers how to train our system, our program called 100 Days to Greatness, and our other training programs. And it allows them to actually lead in a very meaningful way. To go, hey, we're going to work on these things. We're going to generate leads. We're going to generate referrals. We're going to focus on our database. Well, obviously, momentum is a big deal. When momentum's going against you, you're sliding down the hill, you're just trying to grab onto a rock. In markets like that, that's what it feels like. When you're under attack, when agents are leaving. So it's like, okay, where are you going to start from? Well, for us, it's sort and qualify the agents that you have. Who are the agents that you're like, I can't lose them? They're my most important people. They're the folks we're going to win with, not just today, but in the future, and they need my attention. Then I need to think about the agents that I'm okay with losing. If you lose a headache, if you lose a problem, sometimes loss isn't bad. So we really try to focus on, okay, what's the center of the peanut butter and jelly sandwich? You can eat the crust if you want to, but the best part's in the middle. And what's in the middle is agent productivity. Agent productivity, agent productivity, agent productivity. And communicating their value proposition is like, Tracey, I'm here to help you succeed in this business so you can have a great business and a great life. And so that's where we train them on their mindset, and then start with the winners and then attract who you are. Those agents who are your best advocates, who are the best fit for your office, those people are also out in the marketplace doing deals with great agents. And if I said to Tracey, as you're coming across and you're doing deals, will you keep your eyes and ears open? I want to bring great people here to this office. And I know this sounds simple, because it kind of is, but it also takes intentionality to focus on that, to train yourself, to give yourself that dialogue, to train your managers to do this and say, what do we want here? We want great people. We want to create great soil, and we want to take the best seeds, those agents, and help them grow in this in this season. So we simplify their business. We try and create positive momentum in places that they can win. Brokers are typically people who did well in real estate, who decided that they're going to do the next step is for me to open up my own office. And sometimes they got into it and realized, oh my gosh, I didn't know the margins weren't here.
Yeah.
So we're like, you got to go big or you got to stay small. And so really it's a pruning process. When our coaches go through it, they're like, sort and qualifying the agents.
Yeah.
What's in your business right now that shouldn't be in your business? What needs to be focused on in your business? And who is it you're looking to attract? When you attract them, you have to develop them. If you develop them, you retain them. And you can have a business you enjoy. And to be honest with you, good markets don't produce good habits. And this is the time to prepare your ship. This is the time to prepare your business. And I'm giving you very long answers here, but you know, I had a friend of mine who in Ireland, his dad is a farmer. And he said that they could tell what a good harvest it was going to be based on how cold the winter was. Now, I don't know about you. I live in California for a reason. I don't like the cold anymore. I'm from Ireland. I don't like the cold. I don't like the rain. I like 68 degrees all year round. But the principle is this. The colder the season, the better the harvest. Why? The soil turns easier.
Yeah.
The seed can be planted. And not only that, but the flies get killed and all the parasites can't live in the cold soil. And so it's a cold market right now. It's been a cold season.
Yeah.
So I think it's a shift in mindset to say, okay, what's my opportunity on the other side of this? And it's to get your business right, get your agents right, get aligned, keep it simple, and focus on your profitability and the things that are going to make the most amount of difference in your agent's business and in yours.
And do you think this might be I don't know, controversial question. I don't know whether it is or not, but I'm going to ask it.
Do it.
You know, there's an explosion of new models that it's really all about getting as many agents as possible. So they're not looking at being intentional in who they're hiring. So it's a totally different way to do business. How do you coach that?
You know, I mean, if I'm picking up what you're putting down here, you know, there's a lot, and there always has been, but there's this, you know, agents are entrepreneurs. So the thought of them having a downline.
Yeah.
Okay. And your downline is going, okay, great. But multi-level marketing or network marketing, as they call it now, you know, there is no revenue until somebody sells something. Right. Okay. We've coached this for years. It's not a new phenomenon. And God bless those deals. And if people are making great, that's fantastic. But that's not the first thing you do. Okay. We've had agents who've come to us and we've taken them from very ordinary business to extraordinary businesses. They've joined certain businesses, certain new brands. And then they're like, I don't know what's going on. Like, I'm doing everything that I'm supposed to be doing. People by very nature in this business want to grow. Yeah. They're entrepreneurial. They want the next thing. And they get bored in real estate. Yeah. And they get bored. They're at their most dangerous when they're successful and business is easy. So they get caught up in these things. We do the analysis. Where are you spending your time? Well, next thing we see, you're recruiting, you're doing all these events, you're trying to grow your downline. And guess what's happening to your business? It's going down. So at the end of the day, have it in the right proportion. Yeah. Like 80% of your focus and your business should be on selling real estate. And that's good. And then if you want to do 10 or 15% to encourage somebody else and it's a good model you believe in, fine. But I do think it's kind of like, you know, a bit of a curse on the industry anyway, because when a realtor becomes very successful, they become very vulnerable. The next thing they're doing, they're selling essential oils, they're getting involved in other stuff. And candidly, we can almost predict what's going to happen to them when things turn if they don't have those fundamentals in their business locked in. Yeah. It's almost like if you do a downline, you have to be a good coach to be able to get that production out of the people in your downline. For sure. Right? Yeah. And not every agent is a good coach. No. So you either need to build a team and be productive yourself. Yes. Or you need to be a really good coach and encourage other people to be productive. You have to have really good systems. Right. And you have to have great time management. And you have to be ruthless in your focus. But at the end of the day, you know, some of our competitors in the coaching business, their model, which is fine, each to their own. It's not ours. Yeah. Our model, our coaches are full-time certified coaches who make their living from coaching. They're not realtors who are also coaches. Now, somebody asked me about this last night, and I said, look, that's not our model, and here's why. When the market is good, that's fine. Our realtors doing good business, they're excited, and by nature, they want to help other people, so they become coaches. Yeah. When the market turns, guess what happens? Now you're like, which business am I in? Yeah. And if realtors have to choose they got to choose their real estate business if there's anything left of it. Because the coaching business goes through a cycle on a downturn, people get out of the business and there is no clients. So again, I think you have to know what business you're in and make sure that's the 80%. Mm-hmm. Anything else, great. Play around with 10% and try stuff, and 10% for other stuff, great. If that brings value to you and excitement to you and you enjoy it. But I don't think most people don't do it very well.
Yeah.
And it hurts their business.
So what are you seeing out there in the agent world as far as what do you feel are their top concerns, and has it changed in the past 5-10 years?
Well, I think I would say in the last couple of years, I would say, when our coaching calls, they're heavier. Mm-hmm. Okay. I think people are more stressed. Okay. Yeah. We're all on our phones. We're all under siege from, and then we're like, is this true? Are we going to war? Are we going out of business? Is everybody going to die? Yeah. And so the drama level is higher, and that affects us. It affects, and that's why I was saying, like, even get above the line, like forget the noise. Mm-hmm. So the coaching calls are heavier because the agents are having to be more skilled in dealing with their customers, because their customers are watching the same news. Right. They're worried. They're nervous. Is this a good time to buy? Is this? So what we're trying to do is really kind of encourage them to be professional and understand, like, get themselves right before they can serve somebody else. Mm-hmm. Know the market conditions, know the timing, know what's going on, and then be the guy and say, Tracey, we're going to be good. Okay, we're going to be good, and guide their customers through these times. So I would say, it's always the distraction and the tyranny of the urgent is something that as coaches we're like, okay, great. How does that help your business? In the last couple of years, and I literally had to reach out to some of our clients during COVID. Yeah, we had some of our clients posting on Facebook about COVID and the political side, and I was like, listen, what business are you in? Mm-hmm. Unless CNN or Fox or any of these folks are asking you to come on and talk about COVID, then I wouldn't do it. If you get paid for it, if you're an expert at it, great. Yeah. They were talking about financial plan, a U curve and a V curve, and it's like, that has nothing to do with you or your business. So I think for us, it's just always bringing them back to, how does this serve your business? Is this what you want? Are these your goals? Because I think when everybody gets distracted over here, the people who are not distracted, they've got more market share, more opportunity. And if they're going to work and they're talking to people and they're serving people and giving great advice and making it a world-class experience, they are going to pick up a market share. So I would say, to answer your question in short, calls are a little heavier. Mm-hmm. People are a little bit more, on edge. And then we dust them off and say, let's get back to work and go find some great people to serve and do a great job for, so that you can be the person in that community and to these people that you have great relationship with. Yeah.
There's always distractions in this industry. I mean, I remember when Zillow came to market and everybody's like, I'm not putting my information, my, listings on the internet, yes. And, so knowing that, how do you coach a leader through that? Because I think that a lot of leaders are passionate about their business, right? And so they get involved in some of these distractions when it's really not necessary. Yeah. What advice do you have for them?
Well, number one, come to events like HousingWire. Yeah. Like, get outside your bubble. Come into the room you have here and the people you've assembled. Mm-hmm. You got some great minds, and you have practitioners. More importantly, you don't have theorists. Right. You don't have people coming out from outside the industry. You've got people who are trying to figure it out, and they're trying to solve. We're all having the same conversations. We're all trying to solve similar problems. So get outside of your bubble. Mm-hmm. Okay. Go to these things. By the way, get outside your bubble of real estate. Go meet with other business owners. Mm-hmm. I talked about it yesterday. Like, I get outside of real estate, and I've got a great group of mentors. I got a great group of people, as I say, my above the line people. Mm-hmm. These people who go, I meet with Tracey and I say, Tracey, go to breakfast. And Tracey's in another industry. I'm like, I'm dealing with this right now. You're a talented person. You're running a business. How would you approach this? Well, Tracey might say to me, well, I don't know the real estate, the rhythm of real estate, what's involved, but it sounds like this. And have you thought about that? Mm-hmm. So I just think, don't get entrenched. Dave Liniger, who's been a mentor of mine, founder of RE/MAX, Dave Liniger built RE/MAX, and he built his conferences because he went to see what Harley Davidson did. Yeah. Dave Liniger, and if you know Dave Liniger, okay, he is a Wild West man here from Colorado, right? Yep. Rough and tumble. You know where he went? Mary Kay conferences. And he's like, look what they do this great, and how they reward and how they... So it's a big world. Yeah. I think a lot of times we make our businesses very small. Mm-hmm. Why? Because they're overwhelming. We have too much on our plate. The world is massive. Like you're saying, for 25 years I've been around this business. And every year we're going out of business. Yeah. Oh my gosh, The lion is going to come around the corner, devour us.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I just know that people in this business are very resilient. Mm-hmm. And as long as you are in front of the relationship and you're investing and finding those relationships and working with great people and make sure you are the center of your community, you are the go-to person, you're going to do great. Because I believe people they're drowning in information and starving for truth. And with the development of AI, I don't know if you see this stuff and you're like, what?
Yeah,
and
crazy.
You go, is this real? Mm-hmm. And the more that develops, people are going to have more of the question, is this real? Mm-hmm. Is this person? I heard somebody talking this morning about we're going to have people on who are going to do appointments for you where you're lying on the beach. I think that's awful. I was on a lady the other day, she was talking about online dating, and she went on, she goes, there was nothing more disappointing than showing up for the date. And you look at the guy and you're like, in person, you're like, I just got duped.
Yeah.
And I think it's the same thing. You got to be real. You got to be present. And I said, get outside your bubble. There's nothing new under the sun. Mm-hmm. Leadership is leadership is leadership. And it's about clarity of your mission and your purpose. Mm-hmm. It's about the communication of that. It's about having the systems to go and actually align everything so that you can accomplish those goals and you can lead people in a meaningful way. Age-old principles. So
let's talk agents a little bit. I think that a lot of them go for that shiny penny. They hear, oh, that's a great idea. I'm going to move there and I'm going to move here. What do you say to them in being more intentional? Like what are the systems or ways that you could help them be more intentional in the choices that they make to find the right fit?
Yeah. Well, I think, number one is when we're coaching somebody and an agent, we realize we talk to them and say, listen, the disruption in your business for a change is massive. Mm-hmm. Okay. So you really have to count the cost. A lot of times, like anything, like any relationship, there's peaks and valleys.
Yeah.
Okay. My mother used to say, love is blind and marriage is an eye opener. Somebody joins a new brokerage. The appointment's great. You're drinking out of nice cups. And then, a week later, you're drinking out of polystyrene and you're just like invisible. What's the purpose? Is that environment going to help you grow your business? Mm-hmm. Does it fit you culturally? Are you meeting with people who they fire you up and you're excited to be around? So again, that's legitimate. Mm-hmm. And if that's something that your current environment is not providing that you need, then do it. I talked to a lady a year ago. She worked at a very small brokerage. And honestly, the guy he never contacted her. Okay. She had some significant personal challenges. He never reached out to her. And I was talking to her. I was like, you can't be by yourself. Like, you need to be in an environment with other people. Yeah. So again, we coach people to go count the cost of a move. Mm-hmm. You may think that I take my sour milk and I put it in another refrigerator somewhere else, it's going to be fresh. It's not. Yeah. So it's like, again, it comes down to what do you value? What are your values? Mm-hmm. What environment is best for you? And if all of those things are like, it's better over there and it's a healthier environment, by all means do it. But there is a cost of disruption. Yeah, absolutely. So final thoughts. What do you want to leave our audience with that they can take away, either brokers or agents, just real estate professionals in general? I'm a principle guy. So no matter what, I'm always looking for the first principle. Mm-hmm. Okay. If that serves the customer and if that serves your business and if that is profitable, then you should do it. I would say I think you also can't be closed-minded because I look at technology. Can this technology fulfill on that principle? Can it expand it? Can it make it shine? Yeah. If it does, do it. If it doesn't, don't do it. And so I just think stay true to the principles that that work in your business, that you believe in, that you enjoy, that are your strengths. You're going to do great. Focus on the customer, make it a world-class experience, stand out. Service is a dying art. If you go around, like we're in the Broadmoor, the service is outstanding. Yeah. And you really notice it, don't you? Yeah. So, I mean, like, just up the ante on that. And then I said, stay the course and then be open-minded about technology. Don't be afraid of AI. Play around with it. Get on. It's the best. I remember people were terrified of Facebook. Yes. What's the best way to learn it? Yeah. Get on it and play with it. Don't be afraid of it. Get outside your box. Learn. Pay attention. And have fun in the growth of process. You don't need to have all the answers. Yeah. And everything doesn't need to work right away. But don't abandon your core fundamental business and know what business you're in. Stay the course. And if you do that, I promise you, it's a cold winter right now. The harvest is coming for those who stay the course. Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you for all your advice and thank you for being here. I appreciate it. All right. Awesome.